YouTube star Logan Paul made his in-ring debut at WWE's WrestleMania 38, and even Joe Rogan had to admit that he was impressed by the influencer's athleticism. Logan Paul has been making waves in the mainstream sports scene for some time now. What did Joe have to say about this? Stick around to find out this and more that is happening with the Paul brothers. What did Joe Rogan have to say about Logan Paul's performance in the WWE? After kickstarting the influencer boxing trend with former rival KSI in 2018, Paul moved on to face off against none other than undefeated champ Floyd Mayweather for a viral exhibition match in 2021. However, he's not limiting his athletic options to boxing only. The star has also set his sights on the world of professional wrestling, first appearing in WWE's Friday Night SmackDown last year. Most recently, the eldest Paul brother scored an in-ring debut at WrestleMania 38 for a tag team showdown alongside The Miz. Despite a betrayal from his partner, the Maverick managed to impress critics with his high-flying moves and surprising flexibility, something podcast host and UFC color commentator Joe Rogan couldn't help but point out. He's done a lot of, man, Rogan said in a recent episode of his podcast series. You gotta give the guy props. He's not lazy. He fought Floyd Mayweather in a boxing match. I don't care if he's 50 pounds heavier, that's Floyd effing Mayweather. That's pretty impressive, he continued, commenting on Logan's wrestling moves. Oh my, damn, he's an effing athlete. Look at that flexibility. I had no idea he was that flexible. That's crazy. This isn't the first major celebrity to congratulate Paul on his wrestling prowess. The Rock notably told Paul he was very effing proud of the YouTuber, who has claimed he's open to a full-time career in the WWE should things pan out. Next up, Jake Paul believes a UFC fight will happen soon with Dana White's blessing. Jake Paul believes fighting in the UFC is undeniable and that Dana White is opening up to the idea of letting him mix it up inside the octagon. Even though he is set to step back into the boxing ring in August, Jake Paul has made plenty of noises about wanting to, at some point, step inside the cage and fight in the UFC. The YouTuber turned boxer has been locked in a heated feud with UFC president Dana White and a few of his biggest fighters over the last 12 months or so, and has even had open offers from other promotions should he decide to turn his back on boxing and mix it up in the world of mixed martial arts. While White hasn't yet opened the door to have Jake fight inside the cage, the social media star believes that the UFC boss is softening his stance and that it is only a matter of time before it happens. Moving on, Joe Rogan stunned by Mike Tyson's reaction to Jake Paul's fight challenge. Joe Rogan was absolutely amazed by boxing legend Mike Tyson's reaction to being called out for a fight by YouTuber Jake Paul. Jake Paul has become a serious fighter in recent years, with a 5-0 record to his name, including a KO against former UFC champion Tyron Woodley. The problem child has shown some big skill. While he has no set opponent for his 6th bout just yet, he has been challenging quite a few large names, including Conor McGregor, Jorge Masvidal, and Mike Tyson. During an appearance on the Joe Rogan Experience, Tyson was asked about how he feels about being challenged by the upstart fighter and gave a response that some may not have expected. When asked if it offended him, he answered, "No, it doesn't. I like it." Tyson smirked. "I think it's awesome. It's cool." "That's awesome you handle it that way," the comedian replied, "because in a way, it's kind of insulting. It's brave, it's bold of him, but it's also like there are levels to this world." According to Tyson, one lesson he learned is that you can't take yourself too seriously, and when his ego isn't involved, it's hard to be mad at someone, something that Rogan felt was beautiful. Next, Jake Paul lays out conditions for the next boxing opponent after his return confirmed. Jake Paul lays out conditions for the next boxing opponent after his return is confirmed. Paul is set to make his return to the boxing ring in August, and while an opponent hasn't been named, the social media star knows exactly what he wants from his next fight. After knocking out Tyron Woodley at the end of 2021, Jake Paul went on a bit of a hiatus from boxing, as he focused more on the promotion side of things rather than training with his most valuable promotions brand. Fast forward to March 25th, and the YouTuber has confirmed that he'll be back in action in August against an, as of yet, unnamed opponent. Though, once again, he knows exactly what type of fighter he wants to take on. The 25-year-old has been teasing the idea of ditching boxing for MMA and taking on the notorious Conor McGregor, but he told TMZ he has ideas if that falls through. The YouTuber reiterated that there is a long list of people he wants to take on, but it's all still up in the air. It depends on who is ready and who can sell the most amount of pay-per-views, he added. As of yet, I haven't really fought someone with as big of a name as me. I've really done all the promotion, so I want to fight someone with as big of a name as me, and that's what we're looking to do. Up next, Logan Paul reveals a hand injury that could put an end to his boxing career. Logan Paul revealed he sustained a hand injury that doctors described as career-ending for boxers after messing a punch-up on a a boxing arcade machine and hitting the wall instead. Logan hasn't fought in a boxing match since going the distance against Floyd Mayweather in June 2021, and based on comments he made during episode 321 of the Impulsival podcast, it seems like there's a reason behind it. The Maverick broke his hand in the months after the fight. He whiffed a punch on a boxing arcade machine while drunk in Germany, and it was so bad that doctors told him it was career-ending for boxers. It's unclear whether Logan has heeded the doctor's call and hung up the gloves for good. He admitted the news was very hard to hear and described the outcome as very depressing, which could imply that he has. However, it hasn't stopped him from transitioning into professional wrestling for the WWE. Not only did he win his debut match at WrestleMania 38, but he also admitted that he's considering doing wrestling full-time. In other news, Jake Paul has an open title fight offer from current boxing world champ. Jake Paul seemingly has an open invitation to take on cruiserweight boxing champion Mairis Briedis, as the Latvian is willing to cancel everything to take on the YouTuber. Ever since Jake Paul managed to beat Tyron Woodley in their end of 2021 match, many in the boxing world have urged him to take on a real boxer with years of experience. The YouTuber has targeted some of the biggest names in the sport, including pound-for-pound king Saul Canelo Alvarez, while others like Julio Cesar Chavez Jr. have also thrown their name in the mix. Chavez, a former world champion, has seemingly been the frontrunner to take on Jake once he returns to the ring, but current cruiserweight champion Mairis Briedis is also eager to square off against the social star, as he even got a tattoo about Jake on his leg. The Latvian, who holds a 28-1 record, told Mirror Boxing that he'd be open to a bout with Jake, as it would help elevate the sport. This is a big promotion for the IBF, WBC, WBO, and this old championship belt. The stocks go up, and this is what you need to know. People need to know these organizations, but not for people who already understand it, he said. Finally, Jake Paul names Floyd Mayweather, Anderson Silva, more as possible opponents. During an April 14th interview with boxing commentator Ted Atlas and co-host Ken Rideout, Paul made mention of a major boxing champ that could be gracing the main event of his fight card this summer. Yeah, we're still locking down opponents, Paul admitted. There's a lot of names: Floyd Mayweather, Oscar De La Hoya, Anderson Silva, Tommy Fury, Sonny William out of Australia. There's a lot of people on the hit list. If it comes about, this could mark the second time Mayweather faces off with Jake Paul, as the two notably scuffled ahead of his exhibition match against older brother Logan in 2021. For now, Paul says he wants someone who matches my star power when it comes to carrying promotions for events. With names like Mike Tyson getting thrown around, there's no telling who Jake has lined up for this bout, but fans can bet it'll be massive. The Paul family will never cease to amaze us, it seems. Unfortunately, that is all the time we have for today. Till we meet next time,